Well, hey team, I hope you guys are having a great week. It is Thursday. Got a couple things going on. First of all, I'm not in the office or at my apartment. I am in our campus pastor at Perrysburg, Josh Whitlow, who also happens to be my brother-in-law. That's Rizzo. I am currently house sitting and dog sitting. Rizzo, come here. Come here. Come here, dude. Sometimes he just walks away. I don't always understand him. But hey, I just wanted to first give you a quick overview. We're headed into June this weekend, June and July. I know we're busy months. I don't know what you have going on. Maybe you have a vacation or something planned with your family or friends. I hope you enjoy it. High school students, enjoy your summer. This is going to be a fun one. I'm really excited for what we get to dive into, but more importantly, I hope that you get a chance this summer to take some time for yourself, to go on a vacation, to enjoy the weather, to enjoy family and friends, and all that summer always offers. Well, cool. June and July, we are starting a brand new series called Amped. Amped is all about living fully alive. Throughout this month, our life app is going to be confidence. Actually, our life app throughout June and July is confidence. Living like you believe what God says is true. And throughout this month, we're going to be looking at stories in the Bible that remind us of these basic truths about who Jesus is and how that affects the way we live our life. We're excited about this series. Our memory verse for the month of June comes from Psalm 27:13. I remain confident of this, I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. I love that this verse reminds us of what it looks like to live confident, that God is bringing joy, that God is bringing goodness to all things, and we get to live knowing that that's the case. I think for us, even as adults, sometimes it's hard to do that. It's hard to live like we believe what God says is true. Sometimes we doubt. Sometimes we don't always make the best decisions. And so how do we handle all of that? What's so fun about working in kids ministry and serving in kids ministry and being a part of the kids ministry dream team is that we get to teach these truths and these things to kids that some of us are learning ourselves. I know for me, when I read and I do these outlines, I'm always reminded of how am I applying this in my life? How am I learning this? Because oftentimes these things are supposed to be taught to elementary school kids, but they apply to me as much as they do to them. So, June, July, it's going to be fun. Let's dive into your outline for this weekend. All right, first through third grade group leaders, you guys are awesome. You have the first graders, not this weekend, but next weekend, you're going to have a brand new group of first graders, and our fifth graders are going to be leaving. That's going to be a lot of fun. But let's dive into your outline for this weekend. Our first activity for you is called What We Build On. What you're going to need is some Jenga blocks or some Legos. And basically, you're going to play Jenga, or you're going to have them play Legos while you ask them some questions, reviewing the story from the day. And all the questions are on there, things like, what did you think about today's story? What did we talk about in small group? What is the most important? And at the end of your conversation, what you're going to do is, if you're playing Jenga or you're playing Legos, I want you to pull the corner piece out of the building or structure that you've built. And what's going to happen is it's all going to fall down, because this weekend, our story comes from Ephesians 2 that talks all about how Jesus is the cornerstone of all that we do. And what happens when we don't have Jesus? Well, it all comes tumbling down. So that's your first activity. Your second activity for today, or for this weekend, is This is the Church. You're going to need some papers and markers and crayons, and if your campus has them, some stamp pads with some wipes. What's going to happen here is you're going to pass out a piece of paper to each kid, and you're going to tell them to draw a picture of the church. Now, they can draw a picture of the outside of the church, the inside of the church. It doesn't matter. It's not that important. You just want them to engage in some sort of way. So have them draw a picture of the church. Rizzo's, this is what he does. He just looks out the window the whole time. Anyway, you're going to have them draw a picture of what they believe the church looks like, and then after they're all done with that, you're going to have them, if you have the stamp pads, you're going to have each kid put their thumb on the stamp pad, and then they're going to press it on their piece of paper that they drew the church on, and they're going to pass their paper to the right, so that every kid puts their thumbprint on every person's piece of paper. Now, if you don't have stamp pads, that's totally okay. You're just going to have the kids sign their name on everybody's piece of paper instead of putting the thumbprint down on that. And then your transition at the end of that is reminding them that we are the body of Christ, and we all make up the church, and how every person's thumbprint or every person's signature is what the church is. It's not just the building, it is the people inside of it. So that's our second activity. And our third activity for this weekend is a prayer. You're going to use their picture of the church to remind them again that Jesus matters most. During the prayer, I would say, before you pray, make sure every kid in your group knows the bottom line. It's so important that every kid... Rizzo wants to go outside. I'll let him out in a second. But it's really important that every kid knows our bottom line when they leave, because when their parents ask them what they learned, that's the one thing, Rizzo, hang on, that's the one thing that we want them to remember. Cool, well, this weekend, have some fun, enjoy it a little bit. Most importantly, Cavs play tomorrow, or tonight, sorry, not tomorrow.